What happens to the rain that falls in Tacoma? Everyday activities have an impact on the water that passes through our city. But how big of an impact, and why does it matter? Rain is our primary source for fresh water. The common thread for sustaining life on Earth, in the soil, in our rivers, and even in salty Puget Sound. Fresh water is our most valuable natural resource. Each time it rains, water flows off our roofs, over our parking lots, down our driveways, through our yards, and into our streets, where it then washes down our city's storm drains. Through these, the water flows onto lakes, streams, rivers, and eventually into Puget Sound. Any water that passes through this system is called stormwater runoff. And all the runoff that flows through Tacoma leads into 9 distinct drainage basins, defined primarily by the natural geography. These drainage basins, or watersheds, are the areas where water collects and eventually overflows into Puget Sound. The 9 watersheds in Tacoma are North Tacoma, Western Slopes, Leech Creek, Flett Creek, Theophos Waterway, Lower Puyallup, the Tide Flats, Northeast Tacoma, and Joe's Creek. A common misconception is that storm drains eventually take the stormwater runoff to a wastewater treatment plant for cleaning. But that's just not true. Only wastewater is taken to treatment plants, that which comes from interior plumbing, like sinks, showers, and toilets. So what goes down the storm drains with the rainwater is whatever was in the streets and can pass through the grates: car wash water, chemicals, oil, yard clippings, litter. It all eventually flows downstream through our watersheds and into Puget Sound. In these waterways, it can build up to toxic levels that kill salmon, poison shellfish beds, and harm other water creatures. Pollution from our streets can even make the water unsafe for humans, causing swimming beaches to close. What we do to our rainwater directly impacts our local economy and quality of life. Historically, much of the pollution which contaminated Puget Sound around the shores of Tacoma came from industries that moved in a little over 100 years ago along the waterfronts. But today, because of strict federal laws and regulations from the Environmental Protection Agency, the City of Tacoma staff inspect the wastewater of local industries and make sure they meet federal and state regulations. City crews also track down and clean up pollution when found in the stormwater system, as well as plant trees and install and service stormwater facilities to slow down the flow of rainwater and let it soak in. Facilities like rain gardens, stormwater ponds, and bioretention swales. Also, through the technical assistance and watchful eyes of environmental groups like Citizens for a Healthy Bay, the activities of industries at the water's edge, like paper mills, log yards, and recycling facilities, are closely monitored to ensure that water treatment devices are in place to catch polluted runoff before it leaves the site. These days, the largest source of pollution harming Puget Sound are the daily activities of individual community members like you and me. When rainwater washes through our yards, our streets, and our neighborhoods, pollutants like plastic bags, herbicides, fertilizers, pet waste, cigarette butts, fireworks, automobile engine fluids, car wash detergent, and hazardous household chemicals wash right down the storm drain and end up in Puget Sound. That means our daily choices make a big difference in the health of our local waters. When everyone who lives and works in our city comes together to prevent water pollution in the first place, we keep our homes and neighborhoods safer and cleaner, save money on expensive environmental cleanups, and protect local wildlife for generations to come. Another important thing each of us can do is to keep an eye out for spills or dumping or other sources of water pollution. If you see anything besides rainwater washing down storm drains, call the Water Pollution Hotline at Citizens for a Healthy Bay at 253-383-2429 or report pollution on their website. Staff will respond quickly to stop the source and clean it up before it reaches the waterway. Callers may remain anonymous. And take action by becoming a part of independent groups that work to protect the environment. Make your voice heard on the importance of ecologically sustaining our air, soil, and water, the building blocks of life. To see what unique things happen to rainwater in the watershed where you live, click on the map at cityoftacoma.org/watersheds and take a virtual rain walk through your neighborhood. And watch for more episodes like this one to learn about each of our unique watersheds and the simple things we can do to help make sure the water that goes into Puget Sound from our streets is healthy and clean. We are all responsible for what happens to the rainwater that falls in Tacoma.